We got to do a quick pick six, all right? Sponsored by Davidson's Liquors. Because you can go into Davidson's and make your own six-pack. You go into one of their coolers, you pull out any one of 50-plus craft beers, and you make your own six-pack. You don't have to get the same beer in every six-pack. Okay, and for more, go to davidsonsdenver.com. Experience the Davidson's difference. All right, this is our topic, your 6 all-time favorite Nuggets.
I loved Bobby Jones. I just thought he was incredible. Keep in mind, we can interpret this. You asked before we went on the air.
Yeah.
Does this mean coaches and stuff like that? There are no rules in a night fight. Butch and Sundance proved that. 6, Bobby Jones with David. No, I had David Thompson higher than that. You must have done it.
Well,
backwards.
he's on your list.
No, well, so in no particular order then.
Well, evidently not.
Yeah, David Thompson was my favorite all-time player. He was just a joy to watch.
Oh, really? He was your number one?
Yep.
Okay.
Dikembe Mutombo was in my top 6. Dikembe was a delight to be around. That's why I'm interpreting this people that were my favorite. David,
Sure.
of course, went off into the drug world, but David was, and he is again today, because I talk to David every once in a while. David was a delight to be with when he was a young man, and he got caught up in a world.
In a world infested with drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just that was sad because he was an incredible player to watch. Dan Issel was in my top 6 because he was the horse and he was a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2.
And well, these are not in any order. Okay,
All right.
go on. Kiki Vandeweghe. I just loved his shot. I loved him. He wore the same, I would travel with him. He wore the same sweater on every road trip, a white
Cardigan.
You remember that?
Uh-huh.
And I said, let me buy you another sweater. I love this sweater. His father was worth, he could have taken a contract for $5. His father was worth $300 million.
Famous doctor.
And Kiki bought a fixer-upper in New York on Central Park, and he told his agent, this place has been totally destroyed. And he said, "We'll pay 1.5 for it." He did. He sold it for $30 million. He bought a place on the Botanical Garden here and made $25 million. LaFonso Ellis. You don't have to point. I know. LaFonso Ellis. I'm telling my stories. We're already 15 minutes past, so what difference does it make? Oh. Broke the clock.
Okay, my 6. And
LaFonso Ellis wasn't my favorite, but he would be in my top 6. Okay.
I knew that you would have some guys that I hadn't covered. So
Bad
like
leader.
Bobby Jones, I didn't know Bobby at all. Mine also are guys that I have a personal feeling for. Fat Lever. I did not particularly like Fat when he was a player here, but I've gotten friendly with him since. He's a wonderful, warm guy. Back then, he was somewhat cold. But a great player. Loved. He could do everything.
I liked him.
Number 5, Mike Evans. Loved Mike Evans. Just a wonderfully humble guy.
He talks too much on the morning show.
Not that Mike Evans.
I'm sorry.
The 3-point shooter, Mike
I'm
Evans.
Sorry. Gosh.
Just who went on to be
Vic Lombardi next.
who ended up being the head coach for the Nuggets for a little while, but just a humble guy. He had a great shot. Loved watching him. Chauncey. I called Chauncey's high school games, so I've known Chauncey forever, and I just enjoy the hell out of him. Number 3.
I didn't think of him as a Nugget much.
Yeah. Bill Hanslick, who I see all the time and I talk to all the time, and just a wonderful guy. I've gotten very friendly with he and his wife Mary Beth. So and when he was playing that Doug Moe era team, I loved all those guys, including the next guy.
I just wish Bill could be honest about the team.
Agreed.
Because he would be
Danny Shays.
a lot better. Really?
Because I got to know Danny outside of basketball. He is a really smart guy, and he's got a lovely wife, the former Olympic diver, Wendy Lucero. So I've gotten to know them really well, and I just always enjoyed being around Danny because he could talk about things other than basketball.
And he was the second best Shays in his family playing basketball.
And, his dad was a Hall of Famer, Dolph. And then I don't know that I've ever enjoyed an athlete that came through this town, maybe Todd Helton, more than LaFonso Ellis. A great player, would have been phenomenal if he didn't have the knee problems. But just a warm, funny guy, very friendly. Enjoyed the heck out of him.
Just so personable.
Yeah.
And was such a great player, got hurt so badly. And you heard Dan talking about the other day, he shredded his Achilles.